We're gonna go ahead and play Junior Detective. This is the 12th game by HerInteractive.
The year, 1930. The place, the road to Titusville, where we find Nancy Drew behind the wheel of her blue roadster, pondering this question. Why did Emily Crandall, a girl whom Nancy knows only through their mutual friend Helen Corning, ask Nancy to drive all the way out to the Lilac Inn to see her? Does it have something to do with the fact that Emily's mother died barely a month earlier, leaving Emily to run the restaurant with only her guardian to help her? And more important, why, when she called, did Emily sound so desperate? The spunky teenager turns off the main road, blissfully unaware that Emily isn't all that awaits her at the end of the driveway. No, Nancy Drew is about to get her first taste of the mystery, intrigue, and adventure that are to become her destiny.
You may be asking, why did they say her first taste of a mystery when this is the 12th game played and created by HerInteractive? Well, you see, The Secret of the Old Clock is the first book created by the pen name Carolyn Keene in the Nancy Drew series. The fourth book is The Mystery at the Lilac Inn. And really, this is a kind of combination of both. What is it? Look, we can look at the beautiful thing. Zippy gas. Zippy! There's a phone. Do we have money? We do. There's some kind of cat thing. And let's go in.
Well, hello. I'll bet my bloomers you're Nancy Drew.
That's right. Are you Emily's guardian?
You got it. I'm Jane Willoughby. I'm Emily's guardian, but only for the next 3 months until she turns 18. Then she's on her own.
It smells like someone's been baking pies.
Pies are the Lilac Inn specialty. We get orders from all over. Oh, that reminds me, your father called. You're supposed to call him. You can use the coin phone on the porch. Emily didn't say anything about you coming until just this morning.
Is it okay that I'm here?
Don't get me wrong, she can invite anybody here she wants. It's just that she's gotten so darn forgetful lately.
Maybe she's just, still thinking about her mom.
She misses her mom, that's for sure. So do I. Gloria and me, we were best friends, you know? The two of us ran this swell little dress shop over in Capital City. But then she got hitched and I didn't. And the next thing I know, she's writing me saying it would sure take a load off her mind if I could take care of her little girl should something ever happen to her.
It sounds like she's feeling frustrated, maybe? Which, I mean, I can only imagine. She's saying she doesn't have any experience here.
Emily's father
died in the war. Cantigny, I think. Anyway, I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
I mean, what are best friends for? I just wish I knew how to help Emily.
Help her do what?
She's been acting so... Look, go talk to her. She probably just needs to spend some time with a bear cat like you instead of some dumb Dora like me. Go on up, she's in her room. Just make like a Boy Scout and be prepared.
If you look at her face when we were talking to her, classic. I've been looking up 1930s makeup, and it definitely classic. The thin, penciled eyebrows, which I've always loved my eyebrows, and they're not thin, so I feel like I was born in a good generation. And then the rosy cheeks and all. That's probably the kitchen. I'm like, yeah, I'll go see Emily. But first, I'm gonna explore. So let's look. Titusville Tatler. Hobo sign language becoming widespread. We got President Hoover. There's a huge meteor, Main Street. Oh. Ludo. Radio is a big thing. It's the 1930s, so, you know, the Depression is about to hit. As the number of homeless men drifting from town to town looking for handouts increases with hard times, so does the use of the peculiar signs and symbols they have developed to communicate with each other. To see these hobo symbols in action, you may well need to look no further than your own backyard. For example, is there a circle with an arrow coming out the side drawn in chalk or coal on a nearby sidewalk? It means that a hobo is telling his fellow vagrants to go this way. If the arrow is drawn through the circle, then he's telling fellow vagrants do not go this way. Is there a circle with an X in the middle of your fence? Then expect visitors, because it indicates that this is a good place for a handout. A plain, empty circle might be more to your liking, for it means nothing is to be gained here. What follows are some of the most common symbols and their meanings, so the next time you see one on a fence, wall, or railroad trestle, you'll be in the know. Look, we got a cat. A kind woman lives here. Hit the road. Good place for a handout. Kind gentleman, kind woman. There's no use going this way. Go this way. Fresh water, bad water. Owners in, thieves about. Keep quiet. Barking dog here. Dangerous neighborhood. The sky's the limit. Authorities here are alert and nothing to be gained. We'll probably have to use that later. And then this kind of reminds me of like the Time magazine, sort of. President Roosevelt and John Wade. Clever Hans. He taught his master that. Late last century, a retired teacher named Wilhelm von Osten set out to prove that animals are far more intelligent than commonly believed, and that they are perfectly capable of cutting, subtracting, even telling time, provided they receive the proper education. He bought a horse called Hans and proceeded to teach him arithmetic as if he were a schoolboy, using carrots instead of a hickory stick to elicit the desired responses. Amazingly, within 2 years, Hans was able to give the answers to mathematical problems by applying the ground. More amazingly, the horse was almost never wrong. Austin was convinced that he had indeed taught his horse arithmetic, and for years it seemed to everyone who saw clever Hans in action that von Austin was right. Of particular interest to the scientific community was the fact that the horse was able to give the correct answer even when von Austin was not present, which ruled out the possibility that his master was perpetrating a hoax by giving him subtle hand or voice signals. But finally, a scientist named Oscar Fuchs observed that Hans gave the correct answer, that he pawed the ground the correct number of times, only when someone whom the horse could see knew the answer to the problem that had been posed. This meant that the horse was indeed reacting to visual cues. Eventually, Fuchs proved that Hans' cleverness lay not in his math skills, but in his uncanny ability to perceive tiny, involuntary body movements. When the pawing horse reached the correct answer, the people around him would react, albeit unconsciously. A slight nod of the head, a relaxing of the shoulders, a straightening of the back. All were cues which to Hans meant that it was time to stop pawing and enjoy the carrot that was sure to be forthcoming. Von Austin, who all along had unwittingly been providing his wonder horse with the correct answers, died 5 years later, far too disillusioned and humiliated to appreciate the invaluable lesson that his misadventure in equine education had inadvertently taught the rest of us. Thanks to Hans, we now know that what people do without being aware that they are doing, it can often speak volumes. And thanks to his master, we know that if a man wants to believe that something is true badly enough, he'll often unconsciously find a way to make it true. But like Hans, the more observant we are, the more likely it is that we'll pick up on the cues that the believer is inadvertently providing us with. Cues that will ultimately allow us, like Fuchs, to discern fact from fancy. I can't look at anything else. Okay, here's a clock.
Looks like I need to get the bird from one side to the other.
Okey-dokey. Yay.
Wonder what this mirror is doing in here.
Okay. A mirror. Huh? Anything else? I'm surprised at how simple this is. Hey, nothing else. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. What is this? Bard bounce. Game placed upon a Midsummer Night Dream. Move each man. Well, it's never easy. Me already spent money. I'm going to assume that I need to match up the colors. I mean, they all kind of look like the same. Lady. We did it right. King! I have no idea what that was about, but... Oh yeah, I got the thing. Let's see. Named Hans, kept a mirror. I like that she said, I kept it. Seems nice enough, but she doesn't know much, yeah. Make sure that I don't get a flat tire and find gas. Our phone numbers. Talk to Emily. Well, let's do that. See photos and stuff. It looks like. Let's look around. Guess let's talk to Miss Emily.
Nancy, hi. Welcome to the Lilac Inn. Oh, and before I forget, thank you for that nice note you sent me when Mom died. It meant a lot to me.
Well, I lost my mom too, years ago. I kind of know how you feel.
You and I may not be best friends or anything, but you're still one of the nicest people I know.
Well, thank you.
That's why I'm hoping you'll do me a favor. A big favor. You and your dad.
Okay.
What kind of favor?
Shh! What's wrong? I thought I heard something. Your father has a safe, right?
This is 1930. Lots of people have safes.
See this jewelry? I'd like you to take it home with you and put it in your father's safe.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
It was my mother's. The few times I saw her wear it, she looked just like a movie star. I was hiding it here in my room, but all things considered, I'd feel a lot better if you would just take it home and have your father lock it up in his safe.
What do you mean, all things considered?
Strange things have been going on around here. That's all I can say. I know it sounds loony, and Jane probably told you that I've been acting loony, but please do this for me.
Oh no.
What was that?
Emily, come downstairs, quick! The kitchen's on fire!
Come on, we better get out of here.
Well, that's not good. So yeah, Nancy was about 3 years old when her mom died.
This
I
is
don't know
horrible,
what.
just horrible! The fire chief says the stove was completely destroyed and there's smoke damage everywhere. The inn will have to shut down for months, maybe even for good.
Does he know what caused the explosion?
It looked to him like one of the burners on the stove had been left on. The flame either went out or was never lit, but anyway, something made a spark and boom. He said insurance companies are very reluctant to pay out when things look hinky, and that's when times are good.
Where did Emily go? She was right here.
Emily was the last person to use the stove. Like I said, she's been real forgetful
Just
lately. I
dishing
think
out
she's
on
pretty
Emily.
upset. But it's not her fault. What with her mom passing away barely
Very
a month ago, and me
passive-aggressive
showing
here,
up, this total
Jane.
stranger who doesn't know the first thing about kids or running a restaurant, and her trying to do everything all by herself. It's just too much, that's all. Who wouldn't go a little off their nut? I better get that. The line to the regular phone got burned up in the fire, so now the only phone we got is the coin phone on the porch. Excuse me.
Emily?
Me running. What happened? I mean, at least it didn't get the whole house.
My mother's jewelry! It's gone! Someone must have stolen it while we were all downstairs. I knew something like this was going to happen. I just knew it.
You mean this sort of thing has happened before?
Yes. No. I'd rather not say, but I will say this. I did not leave the stove on. That fire was not my fault. Oh, what am I going to do? Without that jewelry, I don't have a prayer of paying for a new stove, and without a stove, I'll have to sell the inn, and if I lose the inn... I wish Mom were still here. I wish Josiah Crowley had left us the money like he always said he was going to. That's what I wish.
Who's Josiah Crowley?
He was this old man that lived next door. He died last year. He spent most of his time here at the inn, and he led my mom and me to believe that he'd left a lot of money for us in his will. He gave us a clock, and afterwards, he'd always point to it and get this little twinkle in his eye and say, "Time will tell." But when they finally found his will, he didn't leave us a penny.
Did he have any family?
No, he always said Mom and I were his family. Josiah was kind of a screwball. One time he showed up at my birthday party dressed as my great-aunt Harriet. I didn't know it was really him until 2 days later. Anyway, he had all these weird hobbies, and he always thought it would be really keen to read minds. Josiah invited Richard Topham to move in so Topham could help him develop his paranormal powers right there in his house. Josiah was a sweet old man, and I do miss him. And he was free to give his money to whomever he wanted. But to get our hopes up like that, and then leave us nothing, it just wasn't like him.
How many people knew you kept your mother's jewelry in here?
No one. Well, Jane, my guardian, she knew, but I didn't tell anyone else.
Was your mother's jewelry insured?
Gosh, I forgot about that. I don't know. Jim Archer, I bet he'd know. He's our banker. I guess I should go talk to him.
You don't sound very happy about it.
I'm just so bad at business things. And Jane, my guardian, she tries hard, but she's no good at it either. Maybe you could go talk to him. Please? It would be such a big help.
Sure.
He runs the Main Street Bank. You can't miss it. I'll call him and tell him you're coming.
That's so weird to me because I think today they would not let you do anything like that. But remember, Nancy's respectable, yada yada.
Is the clock in the parlor the one Josiah gave you?
Yes. I don't know why he gave it to us. It's never worked, and nobody can open it to find out why.
How strange. As I opened it and I got a mirror that I will just keep to myself.
Where is Richard Topham now?
He still lives in Josiah's house, which is right down the path out back. His house and the inn were built at the same time by two brothers during the Civil War.
I'll be back in a little bit.
Don't forget to call your father.
Thank you. It's funny. Really need to call my dad apparently. On here. The something of Francis. It's very nice. I haven't used a real record player. Oh, now I be looking everywhere with the Rubia. Oh, crayon. Gloria, read this, and pretty soon this fellow will be your favorite poet too. Your pal Josiah. Myself, when young, did eagerly frequent doctor and saint, and heard great argument about it and about. But evermore came out on the same door wherein I went. With them the seed of wisdom did I sow, and with mine own hand wrought to make it grow. And this was all the harvest that I reaped. I came like water, and like wind I go. Okay. When you and I behind the veil are past, oh, but the long, long while the world shall last. Which of our coming and departure heeds, as the sea's self should heed a pebble cast. A moment's halt, a momentary salt, I don't know, momentary taste of being from the well amid the waste. And lo, the phantom caravan has reached the nothing it set out from. Oh, make haste. Oh, threats of hell and hopes of paradise, one thing at least is certain, this life flies. One thing is certain and the rest is lies. The flower that once has bloomed forever dies. Strange, is it not, that the more... That's freaking me out that the wind is making the curtain. Strange, is it not, that of the myriads who before us passed the door of darkness through, not one returns to tell us of the road which discover we must travel to. Okay. She's so... It's funny that, like, you know, have her bed made, but I mean, she's just chilling here. I would love to have a little windowsill thing. I mean, I guess we kind of do downstairs. Anyways, the funny thing in the Lilac Inn is that Emily Willoughby is a friend of Nancy and Helen's and getting married to Jim Archer.
Is this your sewing machine?
Actually, that belonged to my mom. She and Jane used to be dressmakers. Mom was going to teach me how to use it, but she never got the chance.
It's really gorgeous looking. I feel like sewing machines aren't that much different. But why change something if it's still working? And it'd be interesting if it started working. We never even gotta go there. That must be a mop.
So, is Emily all right?
Someone stole her mother's jewelry.
What?
She was showing it to me just before the explosion. Now it's gone.
Someone stole it while everybody was rushing around trying to put out the fire? Hypers! If you can't trust a fireman, who can you trust?
Are you sure no one besides you and Emily was in the kitchen this morning?
Positive. Well, I suppose someone could have snuck in the back door. Are you saying someone caused that fire on purpose? To distract us?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Emily swears she turned the stove off after she used it.
But I'm the only one who knew she had that jewelry. Well, it's not quite true. When Gloria was alive, she could have told people about it, or people may have seen her wearing it. And when she died, they knew the jewelry had to be around here somewhere, right?
Does anyone in particular come to mind?
Sorry. It's been hard enough getting to know Emily, let alone anyone else in this backwater burg. Well, guess better go call the sheriff.
Where did that barred bounce game that's in the parlor come from?
I asked
Do
you
you
all my
know?
questions.
Emily says Josiah Crowley brought it in one day and just left it. Said it was so guests, as in him, would have something to do while they waited for a table.
Is that your car I saw when I drove up the driveway?
My old rust bucket's parked out back where nobody'll see it. Be nice to buy something decent, but last time I checked, my last name was Willoughby, not Rockefeller.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
You betcha.
So from the Lilac Inn is the jewelry being stolen, because the Lilac Inn, which I believe they do make good pies, in the book, which you'll be able to tune in Story Saturday if you haven't looked at that yet. And I should tell my dad. But the jewelry is an inheritance. Emily's parents had died, and the aunt, like Aunt Hazel or something, was the one that had the jewelry, was going to give it to her, and then it disappears. And then so that's from Mystery of the Lilac Inn, the 4th book. And then the 1st book, Secret of the Old Clock, comes the clocks, comes the will,